Hello, everybody. The video about to watch, it shows Sheri and I in our doing our breakfast. We usually sit down, and often I ask her help to put together some lectures and some thoughts. So we are sharing with you one of our conversations uh, prior to the event of sexuality that's going to take place in New York this upcoming weekend. And so you get to see how we sit down together and explore some of the ideas. This is just a little piece that talks about sexism and the evaluation of women related to the dictatorship of gender that will be addressed in New York City. For the full lecture, follow us on the weekend or catch up with the lecture later on our YouTube channel.
Right.
Okay, so we're talking about sexism. So what do you think?
I mean, one thing that comes to mind is the obvious sexism of unequal pay for the same job. That's
Right.
obvious. But what's more pervasive is the unconscious, patterns of devaluation of the female.
Right. I mean, I think what comes up with that is like this objectification, that women is something that can be what used.
Yeah, used, I mean, often primarily sexually, but due to their...
Like devoid of feelings and any consideration.
Devoid of value. So that, whether it's women aren't fit to hold, very brain-based, science positions, or, they're more fit to, clean and mother. I mean, there's a devaluation that is often, it's often obvious, but it is often unconscious.
Right.
That the attitudes and the devaluation is passed down by both women and men.
Right.
To the next generation.
Right.
When there's this, you can't kind of message because you're a girl or
right.
because you're a boy, but
right. It's funny that another day I was talking to Tachi and she was like, I don't know why I said, would you like to be a boy? And she's like, no way. And the other time we were talking and she was really surprised about the idea of women being less. She was very surprised.
Yes, she was shocked that at some point women were seen as inferior, couldn't vote.
Right.
And were oppressed. On the other hand, we also had a conversation with her where she is very, saying she wants a flat stomach.
True.
And we're asking her why. What is that? And she's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Yeah.
She couldn't even say, oh, it's better. It's more attractive. She didn't even have that idea. It was more like she's getting the messages, the bombarding of, women's bodies are objects to evaluate. And that happening more and more culturally to girls younger and younger.
Correct. That's pretty sad. All right, so moving forward. So after the sexism, we talk about the evaluation, which is all connected anyway. So it talks about discrimination practices begin in school. If in grade school, if not earlier, when some girls are harassed and bullied. It talks about harassment, unfair hiring, payment disparities, and different promotion practices for men and women, and also in barriers in religious institutions for advanced positions. We talked about that before, like how women are seen less holy and less capable of like occupying some of these higher positions in more traditional religions, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I can add that as holy to occupy positions. Okay.
Which, if you think about it, is kind of the ultimate in sexism. What could be more oppressive?
The ultimate what?
In sexism.
In sexism?
What could be more oppressive than the conception that women are less holy,
right,
or unholy?
Right, right. So then I talk about the ramifications of that. Experience depression, all the eating disorders, all the mental health, the decreased self-esteem, self-identity.
That sounds redundant.
Yeah. I'm just saying generally, but here I'm giving some data.
Okay.
Like, for example, girls and women are 10 times more likely to have eating disorders than boys. And here I want to say how these become so incredibly internalized, and I'll cite the research where they did the testing, the priming. They did a test. They were testing women, girls, and to a group they just gave the test, and to another group they actually had them check whether they were male or female. And the group that checked, if they were female, their scores were significantly lower than the other one. In other words, it kind of primed them to like, okay, I'm not really as good. What was the test on? Was math? Do you remember?
No, I don't remember.
Because for some things, women are considered less likely to be successful with some types of thinkings.
Right.
So it would be interesting to.
I don't remember what.
I also don't have the reference for this, so it would be nice to get it. All right, so the general effects of these gender dictatorship are, we were talking about the dehumanization effect, call it this way. So what would that be? Like not seeing the other person for who or he is, wholly as a spirit?
Holy would be part of it, but the dehumanizing aspect, the idea behind dehumanization is that being human, there is the potentiality and the existence for all these qualities, the so-called masculine and so-called feminine. The idea, those are constructs that are not, real. They don't hold up. It's not like the color black. Black is black. It's like, oh, feminine is this, but all those qualities you find in men, and all the masculine qualities, quote unquote, you find in women.
Right.
They're not real things.
Right.
They're not a cup.
Right.
But we think of them as real.
Right.
Like, we reify it, and it gets all confounded. So when there's a sense of like, men are this way or women are that way, you narrow your conception of who they are. And so it's less than human, because to be human is to have all those qualities. That's human. Humans cry, humans love, humans are tender, humans are brilliant and strong.
Yeah, that's really amazing. I mean, I think that's a really cool concept. So when we make femininity and masculinity real, we are really narrowing our own humanity.
Yes.
Because to be human is to be capable. And for us spiritists, that should be a very obvious concept, because we know that the spirit is capable. The spirit doesn't have sex, so it's capable of absolutely all emotions, all qualities, all capacities.
Right. There's plenty of evidence in the quote-unquote material world that those conceptions break down very quickly.
How so?
You can find men and women that embody all the qualities of the all the time.
Right.
Every day.
Right.
You know, and so, but there's plenty of evidence. But the spiritist view, you know, kind of is the ultimate backup. Like it backs that up very solidly on another level. You know, if you're inclined to have that view, it kind of solidifies the reality that is very obvious if you are open to seeing. You know, but it's our isms, our biases that shape our perception. You know, so men are this way and women are that way. It's kind of patently ridiculous because it's.
And then there's these like, one of the things I talk about here is, you know, the sense of belonging, right? That we all want to have. So this is one of the things that I will disclose at the end. Talk a little bit, is my own struggle with gender, and sometimes really stopping myself from doing something that would be an expression of, just a natural expression of who I am, because at the end of the day, it seems to me to be more important to belong and to be accepted than to express that. I was thinking about that as you sent me yesterday. That article from whom? Who was the article?
Megan Fox.
Megan Fox, right? I thought it was pretty amazing. That kid, 6 years old, right? Who is a designer already and likes to design dresses and want to wear dresses to school. And the parents were like, "That's cool. I mean, you dress whatever you want. You know, who cares?
Clothes are clothes.
Clothes are clothes. That's right. Clothes are clothes." And you know, the kid was made fun of, but he said that although it kind of hurt, he liked dresses too much, and he decided that he was going to continue to wear dresses. And I was envy of the boy, because many times I haven't been able to do that, precisely because, you know, at the end of the day, you want to be liked, you want to be accepted, and you end up betraying, in a way, your own self, which is a very painful, and that's the dictatorship aspect of gender that I think we need to talk about, because in my case, it's I would say it's mild compared to what other people experience, to the point that they become depressed, they become marginalized, and they kill themselves pretty much, because they're so alone and so feeling so unaccepted. And so I'll talk a little bit about that. And okay, in the end, right, we're gonna stop the film right here, share a little bit of our morning conversation, and because now I'm gonna talk about the future and some of the positive aspects, and that will be at the conference.